78% of Americans are living paycheck to paycheck. That is a staggering number. That means 7 to 8 people out of 10 that you meet walking down the street are in a massive amount of debt. They're one paycheck away from basically going belly up. So what can you do to avoid being another statistic? Today we're going to touch on 7 more tips that you can do to succeed. It doesn't matter what walk of life you're from. It doesn't matter what your financial situation. These are tips that will apply to every type of person. The main focus of my channel is to live frugally and retire early, joining me on the journey of how I did it. And by sharing my story, I realize there's a lot of people out there that want to know what it takes to get to that point. There's a lot of people that have already started their journey on that path. So let's go back to that statistic. 78% of Americans are living paycheck to paycheck. That is really scary. It shows you that the playing field is pretty much level for everyone. It doesn't matter whether you're a janitor and you're making $25,000 a year, or you're a car salesman making $50,000 a year, or you're a CEO making $500,000 a year. If you have no debt and you're making an income and you have a positive net worth, that you can be in a lot better situation than a CEO that's making $500K a year that's got a Rolls Royce payment and a $3 million mortgage. So my first tip is a very simple and somewhat obvious tip, and that is to stay out of debt. And there is a difference between good debt and bad debt. We can make a video on that at a later date, but as far as bad debt, don't get credit card debt, at least something that you can't be responsible for. Don't buy cars, don't buy flashy things that you can't afford. The reason why 78% of Americans are living in a paycheck to paycheck situation is because they have too much debt, or they're living above their means, or both. So I'll probably get some nasty comments for my remark about the playing field being level for most people financially, but it's never been more true than it is now. If you live below your means, no matter what your income is, and you stay out of debt, and you have a zero net worth or a slightly positive net worth, you're always going to be in a better situation than even someone that makes 5 to 10 times more than what you're making, because you have no debt. A really hot topic in the last few years has been college graduates getting out of college and having hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of college debt. If you can manage to graduate college without having any school debt, whether it's by keeping a job during college or taking a semester off to earn money to pay for your next semester, whatever it's going to be, if you can graduate college and get a degree and not carry any school loans when you're done and not carry any other kind of debt, you're in the best position that you'll ever be in your life. You're young, you're ambitious, you have time to recover if you fail in something, and you're a blank slate. You have zero debt if you played your cards right. You have everything to gain in life. You're very resilient, you're very moldable, and your mind is a sponge. You're not set in your ways yet, and you can just absorb all of that information. Number 2, find a mentor. I've had lots and lots of mentors through the years, and it doesn't always have to be something that's oriented towards your business. It could be someone who teaches you how to cook differently, or someone who teaches you how to manage your time better, or someone who teaches you how to organize something. But I will continue to always have a mentor in my life, just to always try and better myself. If you ask any successful person, whether they're a city planner or an architect or an entrepreneur, they will have all, at least at some point in their lives, had a mentor. Even if you find a mentor that's not even in the field that you are wanting to succeed in, a mentor can be someone that just gives you inspiration every day, or that just sheds positivity on something that you want to do, or someone to bounce ideas off of. You can find a mentor with someone that you work with, or at a social gathering, or even on YouTube. The great thing about a mentor also is that they are very passionate about whatever made them successful, and most of them love to talk about it because it's their passion in life. So if you're a wise student and you're around the mentor, you keep your mouth closed and your ears open. So tip number 3 goes hand in hand with number 2. What's better than having a mentor? Well, having several mentors. So surround yourself with people that are smarter than you. You won't hear many people say that it's a good thing to be the dumbest guy in the room, but I'll say it all the time. I love surrounding myself with smart people, because if I'm the dumbest guy in the room, that just means there's a wealth of information around me that I can absorb. Businesses that my wife and I are in are surrounded with very smart people and very successful people, and there's always information that can be learned. So anytime I'm in any kind of event or gathering that's related to real estate or real estate investing or really anything for that matter, I have my ears open, because people that are successful in what they do, they always want to share why they're successful and how they've done it. So ask questions and be a sponge. Number 4, I could go on and on and on about for a long time. And that is cutting out negative people in your life. And it's really tough to do these days because we're surrounded by it. And if you don't think that you're surrounded by negativity, check your Facebook page sometime, or check someone else's Facebook comments, or your Twitter feed, or heck, check the comments that people leave me on my videos sometimes. We're surrounded by negativity, and it's a huge hurdle to overcome. The easiest way to overcome it is just to cut down on it, or cut it out completely. There's always going to be people in your life that are telling you that you can't do something, that you're crazy, that you don't know what you're doing, etc., etc. I call them boat anchors because they want to keep you close. They want to keep you on their level. They don't want you to rise above where they are at in their lives. And those are the people that you want to just brush off to the side and not associate with. And I know in a lot of cases that's easier said than done, because a lot of those people will oftentimes be your friends, your acquaintances, or even your family members. But you have to kindly let them know they're not having a positive effect on you. Number 5 is don't get discouraged, especially in the beginning, and learn from your mistakes. And going back to number 4, all those people who are telling you that you can't do something, those are the people that are going to swoop in during number 5 when you've made a mistake or you've failed at something. They're going to be the first ones to say, "See, I told you so, see, I told you so." Don't let that affect you. Move on. If you're smart, you will learn from your mistakes. I think that failures and mistakes are oftentimes more important than your successes, especially if it's a big mistake, because you learn exactly what not to do, and that lesson will ring through the rest of your life, because you'll remember that time that you failed or that you made a mistake, especially if it's financial. Number 6 is to stay humble, and don't get too big for your britches, as they say. Keep your confidence at a high and your arrogance at a low. There's a difference. Even when you're a little kid, no one likes a bragger. No one likes to hear someone talk about themselves for 20 minutes straight. When you have some successes, stay humble, stay real, stay a genuine person. And tip number 6 easily slides into number 7, because number 7 is to treat people with respect. The waitress at the restaurant, or the guy delivering your mail, or the guy that cuts in front of you at the grocery store could be your next potential lead or your next potential big connection to something that you're trying to strive for. And let's face it, it's just a good habit to be nice to people in general. I have a great example of this. The guy that founded the company that my wife works for is an extremely humble guy, very successful. He started a real estate company from the ground up to one of the top real estate companies in the nation. And if you ran into him on the street, you would never know that he was the CEO of a big company. He wears Hawaiian shirts that could have been purchased at a thrift store. Up until just recently, he drove a 1990s Subaru wagon that most people wouldn't be caught dead in. And this is a guy that could basically buy any car that he wanted. But he's extremely down to earth, and he has always treated all of his employees as an equal. And it's made his company successful because he has a mutual respect with every single person that works for the company. So I hope these 7 more tips on getting started to an early retirement have helped you out. If nothing else, hopefully it allowed you to shed some light on looking at something in a different way. If you haven't already, take a moment to subscribe. We do some self-sustained living, some frugal living, and now we do everything kind of related to that with money saving tips and early retirement tips. Once you subscribe, make sure you click the bell to get notifications of new videos that come out. If you like the content of this video, make sure you give me a thumbs up. It really helps the YouTube algorithm get this video to the people who actually want to see it. I'd also like to hear from you guys. Maybe some tips, some suggestions, or some content that you'd like me to touch on. So throw me a comment in the comments section. I always love hearing from the community. And since you've stuck around with me this long, I'm going to give you an extra bonus tip. And that is to be the best at what you do. This is an obvious but often overlooked thing. I don't know why you wouldn't want to do the best you can at everything you possibly can at all times anyway. But if you are the best at whatever it is you do, whether it's training dogs or selling cars, the income and the success will come to you. In the meantime, this is Retired at 40. Remember to live life simple. We'll catch you next time.